In this episode of Cobb TV, we are going to make a White Stripes song. Yes, and be sure to like and subscribe for more epic musical content. Now, I should say we're going to make a White Stripes influenced song. I already have the song recorded, and I'm going to go show you the process and how I created the song and recorded it, all that jazz. I'm a huge fan of the White Stripes, so everything I talk about is definitely in tribute and in mad respects to both the musicianship of Jack and Meg White. So how this song began was it started out with the guitar riff. I was listening to a bunch of White Stripes music, got inspired to pick up my guitar, and I came up with this riff. Process of how we're going to record this is we're going to write the song first, and then we're going to record the scratch guitar part. Most of the times when you're recording a song just by yourself, you are going to record either the drums first or maybe your scratch guitar, but you're going to be playing to a metronome. Well, the White Stripes didn't play to a metronome. I'm going to record the guitar, and then I'm going to play the drums to the guitar as if I'm playing along to Jack White as Meg. How do we go from that riff to the next part? Well, we're gonna do some power chords, all right, when we go into the verse, or in the chorus, I mean, and it's gonna sound like this. That's going to be my chorus guitar part, just power chords, something the White Stripes like to use. And I'm playing an A and going to a C, and then on the turnaround I go to E right here. It's just power chords, pretty easy to pick up once you get the hang of it. It's just moving it around the guitar neck. But we're not here to give guitar lessons, all right? So that's my chorus, and I'm thinking I want a breakdown section where things get a little bit quiet and we kind of have these off-time hits that the White Stripes likes to do. So something like this. Now we're going to build it. Some unison stops there at the end. All right, and that's probably going to go after the second chorus, which I'll do a double chorus the second time, kind of come back in heavy with a guitar solo and another half chorus, and the song with the riff. So now that I got the form of the song in my head, I'm going to record that guitar part, and then we're going to talk drums next. All right, so for the drum part, I'm going to start off right away, right out the gates with the guitar, and I'm going to do the classic Meg White tom-tom quarter notes with the kick drum, and I'm also going to splash that hi-hat with my left foot, get all limbs working at once, just playing a very strong quarter note pulse at the beginning. Then I'm going to hit a stop and create just a little bit of pause, a little bit of showcase for that turnaround lick on the guitar. Then I'm going to come in with a groove that's heavily inspired by one of my favorite drum beats of all time, period, the drum beat to My Doorbell. Basically, I'm just kind of rearranging the pattern, almost copying it verbatim, but it's going to sound a little bit different. And then during the chorus part, what I'm going to do is go to the crash cymbal and I'm gonna follow the guitar part very, very heavily, because that's how the drum beats worked in the White Stripes typically, is she would just kind of follow every exact rhythm that Jack would play, playing very, very heavy on the crash. So last but not least is that breakdown section, which we're just going to be listening closely for the guitar hitting those
offbeat hits.
And then we are going to build boom, boom, boom on the rack tom, the floor tom, and the kick. But we're going to break those quarter notes to make sure we're getting those hits in. That's something I hear a lot in the White Stripes music. For the finishing touch in our percussion track, we're going to add some shakers. And you'll see here I have this really cool glow-in-the-dark skeleton shaker and a little tiny cajon. Now you're probably going, why is he holding a bass guitar? There's no bass in White Stripes music. Well, Jack would typically use an octave pedal to get a bass sound on his guitar. I'm sure there's probably bass on White Stripes recordings. There are raw White Stripes recordings that's just guitars and drums. But this song, like I said, is a White Stripes influence song. This song, I definitely want bass. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to match the tom-toms and just playing quarter notes on A. And as soon as those drums stop, I'm going to stop with the drums, and when they pick back up with the My Doorbell drum beat, I'm going to play essentially the same thing the guitar is doing. I'm just going to double that on the bass. And I did use a pick to record this song to give it a more guitar feel. Now we're going to talk about lyrics. The biggest thing I observed in Jack White's lyric writing is that he uses a lot of imagery. Dead leaves in the dirty ground, when you see I'm not around, walk with me, Susie Lee, through the park and by the tree. So these are kind of some lines that come to me when I think of White Stripes lyrics. And I'm not going to sound like Jack when I sing. I will add some distortion to the vocals because he has that distorted mic sound, especially on the early White Stripes recordings. And aside from that, his cadences are a lot of time, it's like almost rappy. Like it's more about the rhythm than it is him singing any specific notes or phrasing. So something like, you'll be walking in the parking lot, I'll be climbing a tree. It doesn't matter if it's dark or not, you'll be looking at me. It creates imagery. And like I said, I don't sound like Jack White vocally, and I'm not going to try to. I'm just going to lean towards my personal vocal influences, which is Gordon Gano from Violent Femmes, Black Francis from the Pixies, and Lou Reed. So anyways, the first thing that usually comes to me when I'm trying to write lyrics is usually the chorus, actually, and I just kind of do the Kurt Cobain thing and just find a line and repeat it over and over. And this one came to me very, very naturally, and it's just doesn't even really matter anymore. Doesn't really even matter anymore. Doesn't really even matter anymore. It doesn't really even matter. It doesn't really even matter anymore. Doesn't really even matter anymore. It doesn't really even matter anymore. It doesn't really even matter. It doesn't really even matter anymore. It has that very kind of rappy thing. It's more about the rhythm than it is the specific notes. Going into more of like a loud, screamish vocal, like I said, Kurt Cobain influences. Your other influences do come out when you're writing your own music. That's what's called your filter, and that's how your songs sound more like you than a carbon copy of something else. So I'm not necessarily trying to copy the White Stripes verbatim. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is all being influenced by the White Stripes, kind of using their taste as a compass to find my direction in the music. So I don't know a lot of Jack White guitar solos. Actually, I don't think I know any. And most of the lead guitar solo stuff I've done is usually Brian May from Queen and George Harrison. I just really like their lead playing. So a lot of this stuff is just licks I stole from them. I came up with the guitar solo initially sounding like this. When I recorded the guitar, I actually recorded 3 tracks. I stole the Butch Vig method, and one guitar I moved all the way to the right channel, one all the way to the left. My scratch track is right there in the middle. Now it's the one that's got a little bit more distortion on it. But anyways, I did the same thing with the guitar solo, and even though I had all these different sounds and 3 guitar tracks, it just, the tone and the style of fill didn't really fit the song. So I took inspiration from another influence, which is Jimi Hendrix. I don't sound anything like Jimi Hendrix, but Jimi Hendrix probably one of the reasons I play music. One of the things Hendrix does is backwards guitar solo. It's like on Are You Experienced? So I reversed my guitar solo, and I liked the sound of that a lot more. And those are all the parts, and here is how the song turned out. You'll be walking in a parking lot, I'll be climbing a tree. It doesn't matter if it's dark or not, you'll be looking at me. What's the matter with the world today? Nothing ever seems to come our way. It doesn't matter if the sky is gray, no one ever knows what to say. Now I'm flying out the window pane, I think I'm catching a breeze. Everybody says I go insane, oh this you better believe. What's the matter with the world today? Nothing ever seems to come our way. It doesn't matter if the sky is gray, no one ever knows what to say. It doesn't even really matter anymore. It doesn't even really matter anymore. It doesn't even really matter anymore. It doesn't even really matter. It doesn't even really matter anymore. It doesn't even really matter anymore. It doesn't even really matter anymore. It doesn't even really matter. Well, what about the guitar solo he was just talking about? Well, you have to click on this video right here in order to listen to the whole song. It's going to be the music video for the track, and it's streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you can listen to songs.
Be sure to like and subscribe for more epic musical content, but in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.